Pleased to be joined by a British Muay Thai icon, Liam Harrison, 8-time world champion. Great to see you, Liam. Speaking to you for the first time. How's everything been with you?
It's been all right, mate. It's been, I think, been a bit of a mess from the last 18 months with this whole COVID fiasco, to be honest. I've trained, I've done probably around 4 fight camps. Some of them have fell through midway through. My last fight camp, I trained for 3 months solid. The day before I meant to fly to Singapore to fight with Pongsury on one championship, they just turned around and said the Singapore government aren't going to let anyone from England in. So it's been a bit disheartening, to be honest, mate. It's been very disheartening. So I've got the gym's back open now. My seminars are back up and running. But what's happened now is I've trained so hard for these fight camps that I thought were going to happen. I've now got a knee injury which needs operating on. So it's been an absolute disaster, to be honest.
That is an absolute nightmare. I think for fighters, right, you're used to things kind of people get injured, right? Fights fall through, but this has been something else altogether. So you're going to use that operation to just, you're going to get that sorted, and what's the plan?
I can see fights are starting again on one championship in Singapore, but now they're saying you have to have both vaccinations, and I'm not having that, and so I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you, mate. No one's going to force a vaccine on me just so I can fight. So I'm looking at other options at the minute. I'm going to get my knee sorted first and foremost, and then I'm just going to see where I'm at with fight wise and what's getting offered and what's not, because I just thought I may as well get it done now, just on the off chance I go into a fight camp and then something else happens and then I can't fight. The fight falls through again, or Singapore won't let me in, or I choose to fight in England on your cow and the English government don't let anything happen. So I'm just going to get my knee sorted and then get back fight fit and then see what happens from there.
Has that been nice for you in a way, because the MMA fighters, they're exclusive, right? But the Muay Thai guys, you can fight for other promotions. How helpful has that been? Because your last fight was in your cow, right?
Yeah. Excuse me. It's good because obviously the way I fight in those small gloves, I can't fight. So like my last fight, I fought one championship in January, and then 6 weeks later, I fought on your cow in the big gloves. I wouldn't be able to fight every 6 weeks in those small gloves. I'd either have 2 smashed in hands or a smashed in face the way that I fight. So it's nice to be able to mix and match and take up other fights as well. Obviously, I've got more opportunity because there's so many fighters who are signed to the one roster that obviously they're not going to be able to just like get you in all the time whenever you want. So if I'm ready to fight and they don't have anything coming up for me, then it's good for me. I can just like say, okay, well, there's a show in England, your cow will make fight on, etc. So it's good having that just like as a backup.
How have you found the overall experience in one so far, from fighting in the small gloves, the rule set, and the production and everything? Generally speaking, has this been good for the sport?
Yeah, I believe for Muay Thai it's been massive. Like the production is unbelievable. I've never fought on a show with that level of production before. That's my favorite part about fighting for them. It's like the whole build up to it. You're treated like a superstar, how it should be really. The rule set, I love it. It suits me down to the ground. Even if I lose, you're going to get an exciting fight, which is good for the fans. And yeah, the little gloves, it took a little bit of getting used to at first. The first time I wore them against Rodlek, I made a few mistakes and that cost me the fight. But I'm used to them now, I think, and I've done a bit more training in them and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back in there with them again.
It's nice to see the ranking systems. I think it allows the fans to have a bit of context and also the fighters as well. What do you make of the current top 5? Do you agree with it? Would you change anything?
I can't remember who is at my weight, to be honest. All I was just doing is concentrating on my next fight. I had a big fight lined up with Pongsury, so that's all I was bothered about, to be honest. After that, I wanted to, if that pushed me into the top 5, I wanted to chase a fight with Nongo before I get too old and retire. So I'd probably need two good wins. The Pongsury would have been a perfect fight. I believe with his style and my style, you'd just got an absolute barnstormer of a fight. But I also believe with his style that he wouldn't just be able to just walk forward through my punches like he tries to do to most people. But obviously now there's Tao Chai in the mix. Sam Apeche's back on serious form. And it's all right for these guys. They're getting to fight regular. They're fighting again. Look, what are we meant to do over here, though? Do you know what I mean? It's not really fair, to be honest. But it's just one of them things in life that you've got to get on with, and yeah, it's just part and parcel of what's happening in the world at the minute.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? What's the scene over in England like? Are they starting to get shows back together again now that things have opened up?
Yeah, there's we're just starting back this month, but like I said, I was meant to fight from the Yokkao show, but obviously with the 3 or 4 fights that I started training for one championship, I've just ruined my knee now. So I've got to make a decision. I could have fought on the Yokkao show, but would I been causing like long-term damage that would have been irreversible, or then just take this chance now to heal, try and get the operation sorted, and then see where we go from there.
It's interesting when you're talking about the production value in one kind of saying how it should be. Like for me, and I think a lot of people out there, Muay Thai as a sport, given how entertaining it is and accessible it is, because more and more people are taking it up, it should be much bigger than it is globally. Do you see? Do you think it's growing in England and more people? Because your kind of man on the street is doing it for fitness more often now. Like, have you seen a spike? And are we on the right direction to get where we need to be with the sport? Do you think?
100%. I remember the first time that I fought main event on a show in England. I must have been 18. There were about 600 people there in a leisure centre. I got paid peanuts for it. But now when I'm headlining shows in England, there's like 5,000-6,000 people there. They're all rammed out in the stadiums. I'm getting paid good money. So obviously it's going in the right direction. And the gyms, most gyms I know are now, they put videos up on their Instagram of the classes. All the classes are rammed. The gyms are always busy. There's a new gym opening up all the time in the UK. I've got I've been doing seminars in the UK for a while now, and every week I'm going to a gym, and sometimes I've never even heard of this gym. I'm thinking, where is even this gym? There's gyms popping up everywhere. It's it's great for the sport, definitely, and it's 100% growing.
Quality. I saw you posted a picture with Borkow on your Instagram. You fought Senchai multiple times. I see those guys kind of like the Federer and Nadal of the sport in a way. Who do you think the number one is? Who do you hold up to that highest standard, do you think, in the sport?
Sanchai was the greatest fighter of the last 25 years. No one's done what he has done in Muay Thai. Borkow made his rep by going to K1 style rules in Japan, and because that was so widely televised, and that's how everyone knew who he was. But if you try and compare a Muay Thai style, Borkow doesn't come close to what Sanchai's done. No one comes close to what Sanchai's done over the last 20, 25 years-ish. At the minute, the pound for pound number one, I'd probably say it's Tawanchai, which is devastating for me because he's in my division in one championship. But probably Tawanchai's the pound for pound number one at the minute. But over the last 25 years, it was definitely Sanchai. And Borkow, probably number two in the K1 rank. The probably second best K1 fighter is 70 kilo of all time, only behind Petrosian. And that's only because he's only ever had 3 losses, I think. So, yeah, probably Borkow, the second best K1 fighter of all time. Sanchai, the best fighter of the last 20 years in Muay Thai.
Well, it's good to see one actually getting shows back together. Sam A's defending his strawweight Muay Thai title against Prathap. Do you think Sam A's going to win that one? How do you see it going?
No, I think it's going to be the passing of the torch, to be honest with you, mate. Prathap is pound for pound one of the top fighters in Thailand. He's going to be really good for this rule set, because not only is he a super technician, he's also the Asian boxing champion. He can punch, he can clinch, he can fight femur style, he can be aggressive, he can do a bit of everything. And Sam A at 37 years old, which I think he is now, and Prathap bang in the middle of his prime, stadium, top level in the stadium. I think this is going to be a very, very tough fight for Sam A. You can't write him off though, because obviously he's got the experience fighting in those little gloves. And he can punch hard. Sam A. He's had a lot of KOs and he knows how to use them gloves and stuff like that. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be a tough night for him, to be honest with you.
Do you feel that possibilities are kind of open a little bit in terms of what promotions or what one are willing to do now? Because we've seen Road to One shows happen in Prague with heavyweights. Is there any chance of them doing anything in England? We know they want to go to America. There's talk about doing something in India. I never hear anything about England, but there's talent there. There's yourself. There's Jonathan Haggerty. There's some MMA fighters as well coming out of there. So, I mean, would that be interesting? Would you suggest it?
We've got quite a few guys from the UK. There's obviously like Haggerty, Liam Nolan, myself, Chris Shaw. They're all signed to one. that's 4 big fights there that you could make. If they came to England, honestly, mate, they'd fill out any arena there. They'd fill out MEN or anywhere like that, or two in London. No doubt in my mind. I remember I mentioned it to them before, and they just said that at the minute, with all the stuff that's going on, they said if we brought everyone to England, no one would be able to get back into Singapore. Everyone would have to quarantine and all the rest of the nonsense. So, but yeah, maybe in the future, I think, yeah, that would be definitely something to look to, 100%.
What are your thoughts on what Rod Tang's done to the sport? I feel like for the neutral or kind of the untrained watcher of the sport, he's an entertainer, right? He comes out, he hits really hard, and he seems to have sparked some new fans. Are you intrigued by his style? Is he an intriguing fight for you in the future? I know he's not the same weight class, but he's an
I'm friends
interesting
with
one.
Rob Tang. I've been friends with him for quite a while. I've spent a bit of time with him in Thailand and stuff like that, and we're both signed to Yokkao. But yeah, what he's done for the sport's great. He's like you say, he's got fresh eyes on it, and his fights are always they're crazy on one championship. He's to be honest, I prefer watching him in the stadiums because people just think on one championship that all they think he can do is just walk forward and punch hard and go to war. But when you watch him fight in the stadiums, he's technically very, very good as well. He can do a little bit of everything. As for me fighting him, he's a bit small for me for one championship, especially with the hydration rules. If he moved up weight, you never know. But with the hydration rules, 65 kilo, that's perfect for me. Without hydration, I prefer to fight at 63. I've done stupid stuff before, like fighting at 67 and 70 throughout my career, but the perfect weight for me, without hydration, 63, with hydration, 65.
I know you fought Peck Morocco not so long ago. How impressed have you been with him? Because he's had a massive success in one, hasn't he? Is he someone who impresses you?
Yeah, 100%. That was just absolutely ridiculous what I did, though. I took the fight on a week's notice. That's 70 kilos, like 5 kilo above my normal weight. On the day of the weigh-in, I was getting up and going to Starbucks and eating like chocolate and muffins for breakfast to try and keep my weight up and stuff like that. But I wasn't fit whatsoever. They messaged me and said, "Oh, do you want to come and fight?" And I just went, "Yeah," just because I wanted to fight. I thought the year I wanted to fight 5 times that year, and I think I got 3 in. And I thought, right, I need to fight, so I was go do it. And I was looking at Peck Morocco, and I thought, it's all right. If I hit him, I'll knock him out. And then literally everything I threw just bounced off of him just because he was so big. But yeah, I'm very impressed with what he's done. He's looked good. He's come through the ranks. He did well in the K1 fight with Petrosian, which I thought he won in the first one. But yeah, he's really impressed me. So I'm looking forward to who they put him in with next.
In your one bio, it says that you played football to a good level before you started doing Muay Thai. How good were you? Could you have played for Leeds, do you reckon?
I trialled at Leeds. I didn't quite make the cut though. I trialled at Barnsley and Sheffield Wednesday. I played semi-pro. I was still playing, even though when I turned pro at Thai boxing at 14, I was still playing football up until I was about 18. And then I even still played Sunday League at a lower level in between my fights up until I was about 21. And then I realised that if I get injured here, it's gonna mess my other stuff up that I've got going on. So I played at a decent level. I played against Juventus in a tournament, played against Valencia, played against Valladolid. We actually took Juventus to penalties, and we lost on penalties against them when I was 15. That was so I played at a decent level.
Wow, awesome. So when do you think we might see you back out here? Are we looking at next year, do you think now?
I'm going to get my knee done on 20th of September, and then hopefully, I'd like to say within 4 weeks I'll be back training, and hopefully I'd like to say December. But I'm doing a lot of rehab on my knee at the minute, and it is starting to feel a lot better. But I just need to make sure that the injury's like not going to come back, if you know what I mean. So I'm not sure whether I want to do the rehab and then think, right, it feels all right now, going to a fight camp, and then I'm back to square one. So I need to be a bit smart about it. My body doesn't recover like it does when I was in my 20s. I'm 35 now, so I've got to be a bit steady. And obviously, I want to get the most out of the last few years of my career, so I don't want to make any rash decisions. Hopefully, though, December. It's not December. It'll be next year. There's no rush. It's not like I'm an old 35. I'm still faster and stronger and sharper than most of these kids who are fighting today. I don't have any problems when I'm sparring with any of these young up and coming fighters and stuff like that. I'm still like usually 2 or 3 steps ahead of them. I've got the experience as well, so I don't want to rush anything. So if I can't do it by the end of the year, then next year's no problem.
Respect, man. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with healing up, and really good to chat to you. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, mate. Cheers, pal.